And recording. Hello, everybody.
Hi, how's it going?
It's another Monday, and that means we're gonna have a Monday stream, Monday chat, talk about World of Warcraft, all things World of Warcraft, Blizzard, Warcraftian, Lovecraftian, Horsecraftian, Mudcraftian. Who knows where we're gonna go this round? Today we're going to be discussing different races, different classes they can be, why they should or should not be the class they are or are not. But first of all, I would like to discuss. I was cool enough to get a beta.
So was I.
So is my brother here, and just want to put out a couple of thoughts of my initial thought. I'm not going to talk about the hot issues. I'm not going to talk about global cooldown or other shit. I mean, you know, we're not going to try to trigger people. I'm going to talk about something that I don't hear a lot of, and that I'm personally a little tiffed about. And I mean, this is beta, so I'm not like 100% invested in how
Things are going
annoyed that this is going to make me, but I don't see this changing, so I think this is going to be an issue. What am I talking about? Talking about Azurite armor. So far, from what I've seen, they just have a piece of leveling gear. It's not anything to base the whole experience of what Azurite armor is going to be. For some reason, the Horde only got a chest piece. When I played on an Alliance character,
You get 2 pieces.
I get 2 pieces.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Awesome. But whatever. I mean, I quested a little bit to see if I was going to get in the Horde my second piece. Still hasn't happened.
Huh.
So far, I've just gotten the 1. Don't know why that is, but
I mean,
okay.
because I rolled a Alliance Paladin and I got the 2 pieces, and I put the buff that every time I kill something, I get healed by automatically. So, as long as I keep killing, I keep going.
Well, when I first saw that, a couple questions initially popped in my head. I said, okay, is like the current tier we have right now, where the tier bonus sets change based on your spec? The answer is no.
Oh.
So whatever you pick, that's what you have for that piece of armor. And so the next question I had is, okay, if I pick the same trait over and over again,
Do they stack?
do they stack? The answer is yes.
That can get a little broken.
Yeah, so they do stack. So that's good. And so I watched the Q&A, and Ian was talking about how this system is going to work for people who play multiple specs. So you get a new piece of Azurite armor. You spec it for whatever your main spec is going to be, and then you can go and use gold to respec the old piece of armor
Like how it used to be way back in the day.
with talents. Now, why does this bother me? For me, this is super regression to the way things used to be, and I didn't like the way it used to be. Back as early as I don't think they made the change I'm about to talk about until WoD. But as far back as Mist of Pandaria, if you were a tank, you got tank tier to drop.
Yeah.
If you were DPS, you got DPS tier for whatever that is. So say if you were somebody like a druid, and for some unholy reason you played all 4
Specs.
of your specs.
You need a lot of gear.
That was like 4 sets of tier that you needed to regularly carry around. And that was just maddening to me, because you had to raid all that much more. So, like, oh, I'm gonna off spec tank tonight, but I don't have any fucking gear. Better go pug, better go call a friend, better go whatever.
One of the biggest complaints I heard was bag space, not really the fact that they had to have like a million pieces of gear.
Yeah.
I just heard people complain about, oh, it just takes up so much bag space. You're not going to complain about anything else?
Well, yeah. So you're talking so if you're the example of the druid, this is an extreme example because this is the only class that has this issue. But if you're playing as a druid, for now, you needed at least say that you had magically your best in slot for your armor, and you had 4 pieces for your for your 4-piece set. 4, 8, 12, 16 pieces of gear that you had to keep in your bags if you were, for some odd reason, you went from boss fight to boss fight and you said, I'm going to tank, I'm going to range DPS, melee DPS, and then I'm going to heal. You said you wanted to do that. That's a fucking lot of gear to be carrying around. And so when they changed that in Warlords, I was like, yes! I had the Handel's Messiah playing in my mind because that meant I needed to get 1 tier set. That was it. Made me happy. Now, of course, whenever you open up a door, other doors close, and so you have to start thinking about, okay, now I need to carry around these different trinkets. I need to carry around these different neck pieces. I need to carry around whatever. So you're always carrying around a decent amount of gear, but that was just one big thing that was so much nicer for me. So now we're going back to the traits don't swap over. So if you're playing a new character, and you're going into Warlord. So you're not Warlords. You're going into Battle for Azeroth, and you decide to pick your class, right?
Yeah.
And you find out, you gain like 3 levels, and then you find out that for the near future, you're playing Sub Rogue, and you find out that Outlaw is the position to play. It's OP, and playing anything else, it's just gonna be heckling you to death because you have a big DPS loss. Just because the spec is overpowered at the time, so you decide to go be Outlaw. Guess what? Now you're going to have to pick all new pieces, get all new pieces of Azurite armor, and get the new traits for whatever you want, this particular one you want to be. And if you, God help you, if you fucked up, and you were picking your Azurite trait, and you clicked the wrong one,
that's going to cost you.
That hasn't been implemented. Being able to re-roll that hasn't been implemented yet. So, as of right now, whatever you pick, you're stuck with that. And I haven't seen so far. I haven't super gotten into. I did a couple. I gained like 1 level so far. I have gotten no replacements for my Azurite armor. So just the one thing that I have, that's what I have, and that's it. That's all I'm gonna have for the time being until proven otherwise. That's what I'm doing.
Well, I know they said they're gonna implement it so where you can just pay gold and respec.
Yeah, they're gonna do that, but it's not there yet. In the I think we're beta now. In the beta.
Beta, yeah.
In the beta, that hasn't happened yet. I haven't gotten any new pieces yet. We'll see how this goes. I don't know how it's gonna go.
I wonder how much it'll cost, because
it's gonna be increasing levels of payment, just like the talent, respecting your talent.
Yeah,
base.
but there'll be a cap eventually.
I hope so. But I think the more of a bigger thing is that you probably shouldn't be doing it more than once. Hopefully, you're getting enough at replacement for Azurite armor where you're just
swapping out.
You're just gonna use it as your backup.
But you get to the point where you're like, you got your best in slot
and yeah. So if you were going back to the example of Druid and you play all 4 of your specs, you're not carrying around 16 pieces.
Yeah.
3, 6, 9, and 12. You're carrying around 12 pieces. And another thing that gets me a little irritated. I understand why, and I'll explain it in a second. But another thing that bothers me is the fact that when you, let's say, before Legion, you had little options that you could choose from. There weren't anything really that significant. It'd be like, as an example, like Frost Death Knights. Mm-hmm. You would have the option of being 1 2-handed weapon or 2 1-handed weapon, and based on how you played, you kind of picked you played around that way.
Yeah.
And that's how you picked your talents. That's how you made your build. That's how you picked what your best in slot was, and how you played. And so you had little options. How that was helpful was in the same for instance with a DK. If you were tanking, use the 2-handed weapon. A 2 1-handed. A 1 2-handed weapon. I think you still had the option of tanking with 2 1-handed options, but I don't think the abilities worked. I think Frost was the only one that worked that way.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, Blood, 1 2-handed weapon. Frost, 2 1-handed weapons. Unholy, 1 2-handed weapon. So, all of them need different traits. All of them need different things. So if I'm going to play all 3, which is what I currently do, if I'm gonna play all three, I'm gonna need a 2-handed for Unholy, a 200 for Blood, and 2 1-hands for Frost. Plus Azurite armor to match
Everything. Well, I don't know, because also he sees the problem, because I play a mage.
That's 4 more pieces.
I play a mage, and I'm constantly, like, when we're doing Taurus, I'm constantly switching out some gear, not too much, to switch between AoE damage to single target damage.
Yeah.
So does that mean I have to carry like a bunch of more gear? Because that was as a mage, because I didn't find a one to switch between AoE to a single target.
Yeah. I mean, because you're gonna have the same situation that you're dealing with now, because you're gonna.
It's just.
I mean, because if you're trying to play a class at the optimal level, you know what boss you're going into. A good team player would have tomes, know what talents to swap to go into an AoE fight. And if you're like me, because I'm not that nice, and you're just kind of a selfish player, you get kind of a blanket build that works kind of against everything.
I just mostly change out gear. That's what I do.
And then, you work on
a couple Legos and switch out my trinkets, and that's.
Not that it's any sort of relevance whatsoever, but the way I play right now is that if I'm playing AoE, I play Frost. If I'm playing single target, I go Unholy. And if I'm tanking, obviously, I'm in Blood.
I just stick with Arcane, but.
So that's how I ration my gear. So I have my Frost set, I have my Unholy set, and then I have my tanking set, and that's it. Well, not that. That's still a fucking shit ton of gear, but that's whatever. But I don't fuck around with my talents all the time. I don't carry around a lot of tomes. I don't mess around with that kind of stuff. But then again, Frost is kind of a blanket spec, anyways. It's like I'm not gonna say like if you don't play this one way, you're not gonna be doing the best way that you can. But it kind of is a one. It's a one-stop shop. You kind of have one good build, and you leave it at that. There's not like significant changes for trying to be AoE versus single target. You're pretty much doing the exact same thing. You pretty much have the exact same build. But that's not the case. That's great for me. Shitty for all these other people that don't have that. Because I know, like, if you're playing Affliction, you have an entirely different talent set that you need to swap to for AoE versus single target. God bless them for people that do that. I don't think everybody does that. But, if you're one of those people that do take the time, do all that, it's about to get more fun for you with the new Azurite armor.
No, because as I said, right now it's just swap out a single trinket and one legendary. And that's it. I'm just swapping out 2 pieces of gear when I switch between AoE and single target. Not too crazy.
Yeah, it's workable. It's manageable. You can deal with it. Whatever. And so I'm not super happy about that. Now, when I said before, I understand about weapons. So what they had to deal with is when somebody was a 2-handed Frost versus a 2-handed Frost, you had to balance kind of 4 specs within one character. And that can be a big pain in the ass instead of just doing one type of build. Mm-hmm. So now you just have the Frost 2-handed weapon. That's it. I do find it a little annoying that you can't have a little bit more options. I understand why. I get it. I'm not hating on them for that. I personally wish that if I'm playing Survival Hunter, I didn't have to use a 2-handed weapon. I would like to maybe use 2 1-handed weapons.
Yeah.
Or I can be my Frost, and I can do that. Or I can tank with 2 1-handed weapons.
I would like to use wands again.
Be able to use wands. I think those are coming back.
Yeah.
But they're not going to work the way that they use. But I mean, I would like there to be some variety, some change, that the abilities would work regardless of, like, if you're Frost and you pick a 2-handed weapon, your ability like Obliterate doesn't even work. You can't even use Obliterate. So that sucks. Whatever, I get it, I understand it. Makes it easier on the devs, and that's fine. But at the same time, just makes me a little sad. But that's my 10 cents on how I feel about the Azurite armor. That's how it looks like right now. That's what Ian confirmed on the Q&A. Not super happy about that, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Oh well. We live, we learn.
We die a little.
Yeah, and it's good. Whatever. That's
your.
That's just me.
I'm sure we'll have more things to talk about the beta.
Yeah, we'll have more things to talk about. We'll have more things to see. We'll see how it goes, but that's what we're looking like right now. Now, on with the show. Unless, how do you feel about that? What do you think? You're a longtime player, just like I am.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel? Me personally, I don't like going backward. I like moving forward.
You know, I figured if I wanted the whole nostalgia feel of paying for new talents, I'll just want to play vanilla WoW.
I mean, it's an additional layer to the core that we already have, and it's a band-aid for losing both the legendaries, which weren't that great. The legendary system was pretty bad.
I'm more curious about how much gold you're gonna have to pay, because if it's some stupid amount of like something really stupidly low, why even have it like that? Or if it's something ridiculously high, what?
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure things will be adjusted as feedback goes, and
you know, I'm gonna have a crazy feeling that they're gonna probably set it to like the cap is gonna be like 50 gold or some stupid low amount.
I hope so, because re-rolling would be really bad after you take enough time with it.
No, but no, like if it's at 50 gold, why bother? I mean, why bother having a gold price?
Inconvenience, I don't know, whatever the case may be.
If they really wanted to make it like so you really think carefully about it, it cost Azerite.
Why make it a cost at all? Make the inconvenience being that you have to be back in town, just like the talents are now.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm saying if you're gonna put a cost.
If you're gonna put a cost associated, maybe help out the in-game economy by making something that God knows that scripters have nothing to do right now, beside make tomes. Make another item for an inscriber to be able to go in there, re-roll your traits, and help the game out that way, help inscribers out that way. Whatever. That's not what they're going with right now. Right now, that's what we're dealing with. Whatever.
Hey Blizzard, I'm a scribe. Could you remove vellums from purchasing at vendors? Just make it all you can get through scribes.
But yeah, so
got the timestamp right now.
Oh, just now. Jesus Christ. That's like a 20-minute fucking delay.
151 was the timestamp, and it's
2:12. Jesus. Jesus Christ. I am sorry
for not streaming.
I am streaming. I'm streaming right now.
Streaming.
And it keeps just going in and out of loading. So if you're trying to watch this on Twitch, I am sorry. It fucking sucks. So hopefully we get you back on the recording. But yeah, that's not where let's just go ahead and jump right in. We can talk about BFA all day, and let me know, viewers, if this is what you want to hear more of. We can definitely talk about this. It's not something that I'm super hardcore liking to talk about, because
it's so fluid.
It's so fluid. We're nothing set in stone, nothing. So it's like I'm talking about something that is very, very fast and loose right now. It's not like we're not going to see this change in the next 3 years. We're going to see this change in the next month, the next build.
Maybe next tomorrow, because tomorrow's patch day. So.
Yeah, we don't know. It's really, really, yeah, it's really fluid. So I mean,
I keep hearing about like they keep removing things from the global cooldown. So that
the global cooldown is whatever. I don't really have anything strong to say.
I'm saying that the global cooldown thing is so fluid also.
Yeah, and that's fluid as well. Nothing's set in stone. Even when the expansion launches, nothing's set in stone. We've played the game plenty of fucking times where
they had one idea
at launch, and the next day it's changed. And so even at the launch, it's nothing's cast in stone. So, but let me know how you what you guys feel about that. I'm more than happy to talk about whatever you want to talk about. But I had a request from one of my guildies. He would like to know why some classes can be certain specs. Can be certain why some races can be certain classes, and why
that's a good question.
So that's a good question. So now when you're looking at classes, you have to understand something. when Blizzard was transitioning from Warcraft 3 to World of Warcraft, they busted out the D&D manual. They took the basic tropes for certain classes and just kind of cookie cutter built it, filling in different spots with abilities that were in Warcraft 3. So when you're playing as a class in World of Warcraft, you're not like, okay, I am a highborn archer.
Yeah.
I am a dwarven mountaineer. When you're playing a hunter, you're kind of everything.
Yeah.
You're kind of everything. They took all the all the abilities from all the different things.
I do have a copy of the Warcraft D&D book, and I've kind of thumbed through it. There's a lot of stuff like battle mages, which are actually like a tanky mage, which that doesn't exist.
Yeah. So, just keep that in mind, that there is no real, one embodiment, with the exception of maybe, I'm going to say there's 3 classes. We'll get into that. But outside of those 3 classes, you're not looking at any embodiment of any singular, particular race, of any heroic class. You're looking at a real blanket of kind of everything squished in there. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right into that.
Yeah.
And so, starting right off the bat, we're going to talk about humans.
Yay.
Humans.
Not us.
When this game first launched, you had straight up orcs versus humans. Warcraft. And,
only control 4 units at a time.
Yep, that was good stuff. And so, we'll go straight there. Humans. What can they be and why can they be this? Now, I do have a little bit of an issue with what Blizzard did to this game in Cataclysm, because when Vanilla launched all the way through Burning Crusade, when they made changes to what races can be certain classes, all the way up through Wrath of the Lich King,
Yeah.
It made a lot of sense. There's a lot of good reason, in my opinion, for that lore-wise. But they kind of buckled at the knee when Cataclysm came back, when they started doing a revamp of all the different class combinations. Yeah. And they did a lot of things that really don't make any sense.
Still don't make sense.
And so...
looking at you, Night Elf Mage.
Yeah. And so... Even in the vanilla choices, there's some things I'm scratching my head about. And, whatever. It's fine. But anyways, humans. At current stance, you can be warrior, paladin, hunter, rogue, priest, mage, warlock, monks, and death knights. Warrior's your basic Warcraft footman.
Yeah.
He's the guy on the front lines. You make him at your garrison, whatever equivalency of race you're playing, and that's the guy that goes out and gets splattered across the field. That's taking the damage for the archers so they can do more damage than the warriors doing.
Yeah.
That's your footman. That's your grunt. That's your
frontline dude.
It's your frontline dude. Now they did take some abilities from the Blade Master in Warcraft 3 with Whirlwind.
Yeah.
You got your shield stands from your footmen.
Footmen, yeah.
Yeah. Various things piecemealed, put together to make your typical generic warrior.
I'm gonna smash your face in.
Yeah. And
with something maybe sharp, maybe blunt,
peppered into different things. And so, yes, it makes absolute sense that a human could be a warrior. And it makes sense that most classes, well, not most, it actually doesn't make a lot of sense that a lot of classes could be warriors. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm going to get into that later, but I'm just going to say thumbs up, thumb down before I go too crazy on everything. Warrior, yes, makes sense. Good to go. Paladin. Well,
yeah, this absolutely makes sense for humans.
Absolutely makes sense for humans.
Since they're the ones who created paladins.
Except for Draenei, but we're not even going to bother.
The Draenei weren't even in the picture.
Yeah, that's not even a thing. But when it comes to classic World of Warcraft, absolutely. Absolutely. Hunter. No. Hunter was one of those things that was added in Cataclysm. Now, there are a couple of examples of humans becoming rangers with the Elven Society, but outside of that, your quintessential Warcraft hunter is your elf, whatever. Night elf, blood elf, void elf, highborn, whatever.
Cue the Lord of the Ring music.
Yeah, cue Lord of the Ring, get your Legolas going. That is your hunter. So, that was more, hey, hunter's easy mode. I want to be a human and have my easy mode at the same time. Let me be a human hunter. Alright, you're a human hunter. Good to go. Congratulations. Moving on. So, don't agree with that. You can disagree with me all day. Yeah, they have bullshit reasons about why humans are hunters. But as inside the world of Warcraft, the hunter has a very strong connection with nature.
Yeah.
And they're kind of a weird, distant cousin to druids in a lot of sense, where humans have never had that deep connection with nature. Your basic Lord Iranian human, not that deep connection with nature. So anybody that doesn't have a good connection with nature, probably not going to be not a hunter.
Maybe a lone wolf marksman hunter makes sense, though.
No, not even then, because humans never been about range. In no single game is there a ranged human.
No. It's usually handled by dwarves.
Handled by dwarves or elves.
Yeah.
Humans have been mages, paladins, footmen, peons, which would be amazing. Let's get a worker class in the world of Warcraft. Your job is to be remedial idiot.
Wait,
Special ability, chop wood.
It would fit in with Warfronts.
Would be awesome. Blizzard, hope you're paying attention. Next hero class, peon, grunt, wisp, fucking.
You just build you build buildings that add you work through kind of like just building buildings.
Somebody tells you to do something, the rest of the raid gets a buff because they feel better about themselves. Because they got to tell somebody. They got the feeling of superiority, and everybody feels better.
And they can just
themselves.
walk up, right click on you, and you get kicked.
Yeah.
Like they kick you in the ass.
Yeah. Right there, they kick you. They can literally kick you. That's
not like kick you from group. You just get you just walk up and
you get kicked, and it makes everybody feel better about themselves. Best class ever.
And all you can say is, I didn't vote for them.
Yep. So, going down the list.
Rogue.
I'm going to tell you straight up right now. Rogue has never had a real identity inside the World of Warcraft inside the Warcraft games until World of Warcraft.
Yes.
That went straight to the D&D book. They said, hey, D&D has a rogue. Let's have a rogue.
You can easily just retcon and be like, they're always there, you just couldn't see them because they're rogues.
Now, there are units that have been stealth assassins. There's only really one coming to mind, and those are the Draenei, that you can play as Warcraft 3. 3? Yes, Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
When you're playing as the Blood Elves, you can recruit Draenei, which are stealth assassins, which look like the
Broken.
What we call Broken nowadays. We're the stealth assassin, which were basically your copy and paste for StarCraft, with your whatever the fuck they're called.
Protoss.
With your Protoss, Dark, Templar. That's it. So they took abilities that they didn't use for other things. So you got if you want to call anybody a rogue in the game that isn't your Draenei, maybe Maiev, a full plate rogue is a weird thing.
Yeah.
But she has Blink, which is the mage thing. She has Fan of Knives, and she can apply a dot. So whatever. So since they don't really have a presence in the game, in any sense of the word, they're your sneaky bastard. You can kind of make anybody you want to be your sneaky bastard.
Yeah.
So,
rogues.
They're rogues.
Okay.
What are you gonna say? They're rogues. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. I love rogues. I'm not pissing on rogues by any means. I think rogues are great, but realistically, they're kind of they're there.
We're there.
They're there.
They've been there the whole time.
Yeah. Priest again. Absolutely
makes sense.
Yeah.
Jesus, are the humans annoying about the light?
Yes, they are. Anything light related, sure.
The
human,
light! Oh,
go
the light! Like
crazy.
this!
All right, that's cool.
I'm gonna get you a gift of a flashlight.
There you go. You can just fucking sit in your tent and click that on and off, cry when the light goes away, and rejoice when the light
Here's a
returns.
mag light, have fun.
Yeah, good times all around. Good for you. Mage. Yes. Moving on. Don't want to super get into it. We've talked about this plenty of other videos. What is a mage? How is a mage? All the mage.
I don't
Whatever.
think, no, I think it was just we haven't talked about it in a video, but
We have when we talked about how the elves met the humans, taught them magic.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes, it does. Warlock.
What? Why?
Exactly. What the fuck were you thinking? So,
Humans
warlocks
would probably be like the most like hating of warlocks next to like Draenei.
Because the only way a human learned how to be a warlock
That's through an orc.
is through an orc. So when they had the orcs encampments, that means there was a cabal of humans going around being like, hey, yo, bro, teach me your shit. So I'm not saying that's impossible.
That could have happened through the guy who had Thrall captive.
I'm not saying that's impossible.
Because he was
I'm just saying it's extremely unlikely because at the end of Warcraft 2, there weren't really any warlocks around to kidnap and learn their secrets. So I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's extremely unlikely. This is like the most unlikely class combination that you can basically.
And the warlocks really messed up a lot of like things. Like they killed a lot of people, and so the humans would just absolutely hate.
Yeah.
warlock.
So the idea of a human warlock is just it's so far fetched that I mean, yeah, I take that back. There are different class combinations that are like no, but this is up there. This is pretty high up there on the what the fuck are you doing? Whatever. Monks. Pandaren are not really stingy on who they're going to teach monkness to.
No.
Since they come from where the pandas come from, the pandas teach it to everybody. Anybody can be a monk.
But there's
Moving
still
on.
also kind of like the what the fuck spec out of
Anybody can learn how to be a monk. I mean,
Yeah.
and so we'll move on to that when we go to pandas. All right, I'll go on. I have a little spiel about that. Don't let me forget about my monk spiel when we get back to it. When we get to pandas, don't let me forget. Thank you. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Death Knights. Okay, when it comes to Death Knights, fun fact. All right, Death Knights, as they stand right now,
So many
they are
versions.
they're a snapshot. They come from a specific moment in time. So when the how do you pronounce what the big floating ziggurat for the Death
Necropolis?
Knights? Not necro. It's like it starts with an A.
Yeah.
Whatever that fucking thing's called. Whenever the Death Knight came, whenever Arthas brought all his armories over on the floating ziggurat, as whatever it's called, he took from the Argent Dawn. People he killed from the Argent Dawn made them into Death Knights. So, whoever was in the Argent Dawn at the time that the necropolis floated over are the people who can be Death Knights. So, if they weren't there,
They can't be Death Knights.
they can't be Death Knights. So, a human,
yes.
very much so. There were a lot of humans in the Argent
humans
Dawn.
made up the backbone.
Made up pretty much the bulk of the Argent Dawn. So having a human Death Knight absolutely makes sense. Humans are kind of the original Death Knights, if you want to get weird about it, because Death Knights, the first Death Knights, where Gul'dan took the souls of dead orcs, placed them into the corpses of humans to make Death Knights.
Yes.
And that Death Knight is your quintessential unholy Death Knight. You raise ghouls. They were skeletons back then. But you raised the dead. You shot fucking death coils.
Yeah. Those Death Knights were more in line with being a caster than anything.
But they still death coil,
Yeah.
raised the dead, and
Death
that was
and
for
Decay.
huh?
Death and Decay.
And Death and Decay. Where in the Warcraft 3 version of the Death Knight, you had Ra's Ghul,
Yeah.
Death Coil, and then you had Unholy Aura.
Yeah.
And what was their fourth ability?
I'm trying to remember. Did also the Death Knights from 2 also have that weird tornado ability?
No. Well, I forget.
They did. I think they
They
did.
didn't have very many abilities.
No,
though.
they had like
They had like 2 or 3.
6, 7.
7 abilities?
Yeah.
Are you that? There wasn't even enough menu for that.
There was 2 lines of 3, then the 1 up there. There was.
But 6 of those buttons were always taken by move, patrol, stop, attack.
First, like,
Like the 6 buttons were taken, and then you had like
There
room
was-
for like
there
3
was Death and
underneath that.
Decay. They had that tornado ability where they just make that tornado that's kind of just bounces around the screen for a few seconds.
We'll have to look into this. But anyways, but if you're talking about your most basic Death Knight, it's your Unholy Death Knight. That is the quintessential Death Knight.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter which version you're talking about. Frost Death Knights and Blood Death Knights were invented for World of Warcraft. So
Yeah.
just gonna fun fact, putting that out there. So that's humans. Off to the second original race here,
Orcs.
orcs.
Warriors?
Warriors?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you weren't playing with grunts, you were not doing it right when you were playing as the Horde. So, absolutely, thumbs up, seal of approval. Hunter. The only reason that this is a yes, well, there's a couple reasons, but the biggest reason that this is a yes is because Rexar. The half orc, half ogre. Well, he's actually like 1/4 ogre.
His new model
3/4.
looks awesome, by the way.
Huh?
His new model looks awesome.
Yes, it does. But and historically, orcs and hunting
Makes sense.
go hand in hand.
Yes. 'Cause
Making companions
I
with
I
animals.
recently went through the Doratan prequel book to the Warcraft movie.
I apologize, everybody. My wife is a little sick, and my dog is a dog. So he's huffing, she's coughing. I apologize, but hope she
It's
gets
so-
better.
So no, but yeah, no,
Nathan's wearing a mask.
yeah,
He's a ghost.
no, but as I said, I finished with the Doratan the sequel book, the prequel to the Warcraft movie, and Jesus, like the whole Frostwolf sounds like they're just a clan of hunters.
So, gonna go ahead and say
Yeah.
yes. We'll say yes. If I was gonna pick like one version of Hunter, doesn't matter. It's fucking stupid. But yes, I'm gonna say soft yes.
Yeah.
Soft yes. Rogue, like I said before, it's
Yeah.
kind of whatever. Shamans, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Just like paladins and humans, shamanism and orcs, they go hand in hand. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you need a few checks in the box to be a shaman. And when the shamans were horde only, it made a lot of sense. What do you need to be in the checks in the box?
Communication with the elements.
Ancestor worship,
Yeah.
okay. Communication and working with the elements.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Elemental power, ancestor worship, love of rocks. So, if you respected the spirits, you respected the elements, you worshipped your ancestors, boom. There's your shaman. And there you go. So, there are a lot of people that fall in that bracket. There are significantly more that don't.
Yes.
All right. So, but yes, orc shaman all day, every day, thumbs up, way to go. Orc, mage,
No.
fuck off. All right, fuck off. I'm not saying that at one time orcs can't learn to use magic.
But mages are uniquely an Azeroth thing.
No.
No, I'm saying like just this idea of a mage.
No, because the Draenei practice magic, and
Yeah.
if you're gonna say that, then trolls shouldn't be mages either, which I would agree with. But we're not talking about that. But in this incarnation,
From all the
it's-
past stuff with the or pre Gul'dan's fuckery, there was no indication of the orcs using the arcane.
yeah, none whatsoever. An orc learning magic as a mage is the same category as a human learning to be a warlock.
Yeah.
It's just it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit at all. I think the shoehorn reason for that was that Garrosh, when he was war chief, hated warlocks, but still wanted the power of a warlock to be able to destruction of the warlock. So he made his orcs learn how to become mages, so that they weren't warlocks, but they still had magic power. I think that was the reason why they said
were mages there since vanilla though.
there were, and in vanilla you had your undead mage. We'll get into that, but I'm just saying this is thumbs down. No, this
Makes no sense.
This is dumb. Warlock,
Yes.
yes, all day, every day.
Thank Gul'dan.
Fun fact: at one point, all shamans were warlock when it comes to orcs. So every single orc shaman gave up shamanism, became a warlock for a while. So absolutely have a bigger part of orc history than even they would like to admit. So absolutely.
Monks, same thing as humans.
Same things as before. Death Knights, same thing. There were orcs in the Argenton. It's good to go. Thumbs up. Hooray. Next batter. Dwarf. Dwarf warrior.
Yeah.
Yes. C. Magni. Orc warrior. Now, I'm going to say this just because we're going to talk about it later. But if you go into pure Warcraft 2-iness, the Wild Hammer Griffin Rider was a war-minded dwarf. He was a warrior
Yeah.
who threw enchanted hammers. He was not a shaman. He was a warrior with enchanted hammers on a griffin.
Yes.
That is what your
Wild Hammer was.
your wild hammer was. They were warriors on the back of griffins throwing magical hammers. So, not shamans, but we're going to move on to that.
Paladins.
Paladins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of.
No, because they worship their ancestors. Check.
Yes.
Beside being in close proximity to humans and being homies with humans, okay, maybe, yeah, sure, why not?
I don't think it's I don't know much about dwarven lore because
Well, they learned it from the humans.
yeah, but I'm saying
They learn how to-
because of priests.
Yeah, well, priest
I'm saying dwarf priests. I'm not sure about that. 'Cause
makes more sense for the Dark Iron, and I'll get into that.
Yeah.
Makes more sense for the Dark Iron to be Paladins, not so much. Not so much, but whatever. They learned it from humans. Alright, cool. And I kind of hate the way the light works in World of Warcraft because the light is a filthy whore and will pretty much go to anybody that wants it bad enough. See goblins. But, Paladin, yeah. Hunter, riflemen. Yes, sure.
Mountaineers.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Priest.
That's
Alright, so the Dark Iron, they kind of hoard themselves out all over the place, right? They hoard themselves out to the elements, accidentally settled Ragnaros, they were mages, they communicated with the old god and used shadow magic. Okay. Now, they kind of put a little bit of that in when they were making dwarves before they decided to really make a distinction between the different clans.
yeah.
So mage, priest are byproducts of Dark Iron, kind of softly being quote unquote dwarf before they made him into an allied race. So you can thank that for the fact that these guys can be priests. Outside of that, Not really. Not really. Shaman. Ancestor worship? Yes. Love of rocks? Absolutely.
They live in mountains.
Love fire. So I guess you can say that's elemental.
Yeah.
Dark iron. Summon Ragnaros into the world. Oops. They're bad. So, yeah. Yeah, makes sense. I can take that. I can dig that.
I would say
Dwarven Mage.
I would say it makes sort of sense because of
With-
Dalaran.
Dark iron.
And Dalaran.
And the fact that, if they can learn how to be paladins from humans, they can learn how to be mages from humans. So if you want to go that route,
Dalaran's has been sitting around there for so long. Anything that's, well, besides the Night Elves, anything that's part of the Alliance would have access to sending people to Dalaran to become mages.
yeah. Warlocks. No. Same reason. See humans that we just talked about.
Yeah.
No, and no. All right. Monks. Yeah, whatever. Yes.
Death Knights.
Death Knights were dwarves are part of the Argent Dawn, so yes. Undead. Former humans.
Yes.
So anything that a regular human can be, a undead knight should be.
Yes.
I mean, undead should be.
Yeah.
Should be. Now I say should be because out of all the changes that they did, there's one that I don't agree with that I really think that they should be brought into the game. And that is an undead paladin. If undead can be a holy priest and use the light, hurting himself to heal his allies, and hurting his own allies that happen to be undead, getting healed by holy light, but still doing it,
He should be a paladin.
he should be able to paladin. It would be like
Because there also were dead paladins amongst the dead of Lordaeron.
Yep. So it's not too far away to say that if you can use the light, you can be a paladin. It should be too hard for them to remember. And I think even in the Argent Crusade there were some light wielding undead, but there are some paladins in the Argent Crusade. That's not scripture. Don't quote me on that. But I'm just saying, undead paladin makes
Like
sense.
some like devs have actually said, yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yep.
I mean, they're open. They're more like, yeah, they should be undead paladins.
Yep.
Like I think Ian has said they should be.
Oh, the Argent Crusade, the Scarlet Crusade.
Scarlet Crusade, yeah.
Yeah, they have undead paladins.
Yes.
No, Hunter. Fuck
Same
off.
as humans.
Well, it's not even that. It's so much worse. You're a rotting, stinking corpse.
They'll eat
Your
you.
beast friend is gonna fucking eat you and chew on your bones long before it's gonna listen to anything you have to fucking say. They don't have any connection with nature. The same way the humans don't, but a million times removed.
Mhm.
All right, these guys don't give a shit about nature.
Yeah.
So no, go home. You're drunk. Just get out of here.
Rogues.
Now it's the same. I just think it's the same thing. It was just Blizzard wanted to appease the people who said, "Hey, I want to be.
A rogue.
Everybody should be a hunter."
Yeah.
God help you if a race can't be a hunter, because fucking everything is a hunter. But whatever.
Rogues.
Rogues.
Yeah.
Actually,
Kind of.
inside the World of Warcraft, if you played in vanilla, rogues had a huge part of Undercity and the Undercity Society. They worked directly for Brian Mothras. They were the dagger in the dark, doing shit behind the scenes, working with a direct acknowledgement, more so than SI7, more so than the Shattered Hand, more so than any if you don't know what I'm talking about, back in vanilla, every single class had its own trainers. It had its own people that would send you to other people.
Basically factions.
Every faction had their own flavor of why they got their abilities, how they got their abilities, quests, and things along those lines. So there was a lot of like if you're an orc rogue or if you're a troll rogue, you reported to the Shattered Hand. If you were a human rogue, you were
Dwarf,
you're
dwarf, gnome, or human, you were reported to the SI7.
So they were very but more so than anybody else, the undead rogue was a very essential part of the Forsaken. So there's that. Priest.
Like we said about paladins.
Going back to one thing, going back to vanilla, one thing that I really do miss was that the way that they originally spun the priest was that they were the religious leader of your race, of the whatever religious faction that your race was. And every single race had 2 race-specific abilities that other races didn't have. So,
because I didn't really play a priest back then, but I remember reading about it.
So like, when it came to the Forsaken, both of their abilities were shadow damage ability. So a undead shadow priest had 2 more spells that were exclusive to shadow, to the undead. The different races all had different ones, and you can debate all day about which ones were the most effective, most powerful. But there was that flavor to it, saying that they were religious factions to their faction, religious leader to their faction, and the Forsaken were all about the worship of the shadow cult.
The Void.
No, not the Void. They were all about the shadow. That was like the cult of shadow or some shit.
So, yeah.
I waited too long. Hold on. Sat too long in the loading screen. Getting back in there.
Guess we could do a part 2. Part 2.
No, we're not doing part 2. I'm just logging in right now.
No, I'm saying we'll do a part 2 because.
Oh, we're not gonna go through all of them. Yeah, we're not gonna be able to go through everyone today. My brother has to go on and do some things, so we're gonna be wrapping up here in about. How much time you got?
It's 2:46 right now.
What time do you need to be home?
I need to be home by 3.
All right, so we're gonna finish up. We're gonna finish up the undead, and then we're gonna go ahead and finish this off tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Next week.
Unless my boss decides to make me work 7 days in a row again.
Yep. And we'll continue this. But anyways, we're gonna finish off we're gonna finish off the undead, and then we'll carry on with everyone else. And with the groundwork that we established today, we'll be able to go through the other races much faster than we did today. So, yep. Priest. Yes. Mage. Yes. Warlock.
No. Maybe.
Yes.
No.
I would say yes, because one, undead were in the direct control of demons. So, demons taught them more about the necromancy.
Yeah. But I was still saying,
and the Forsaken mindset is nothing is out of reach, nothing is taboo, nothing is wrong for revenge. So they'll use anything and everything. So they'll learn it from anything they can. Nothing is too bad for this Forsaken.
Yeah.
Nothing is too evil for the Forsaken. Nothing is off limits. Nothing is taboo. So
that route though, they're saying like anything that's up for grabs as long as it helps the Forsaken achieve their goals. I could say you could argue shamanism through the way of dark shamans.
No, because they're connected. They don't really give a shit about anything.
But I'm saying dark shamans don't give a shit about the elements. And they enslave and torture them.
Yeah.
So I could see them going through the route of through dark shamans.
Nah, yeah, but I still say no. But whatever. Yeah. So yeah, sure. Monk, same thing. Anybody that's willing to learn, a panda will teach you. So good on you. Undead is like Undead Death Knight is like the most redundant fucking thing ever, because you were dead, you died, and then you re-deaded.
We could even say like, oh, it's like it's just a human they let sit a little too long before re-end.
Well, even when you make it undead Death Knight, you're the Argent Dawn member that you're like, oh, we used to be Forsaken. So you're specifically an undead, a dead undead. You're brought back twice.
But then
you're a double dip in the necromantic juice. You are twice dead.
But then you can say like basically all the Forsaken can just keep being risen over and over again.
Technically, yes. If you played through the Death Knight campaign, I'm not going to spoil anything. Well, we already did. But yeah, there is no such thing as two dead.
No, I'm not saying just for not for Death Knights. I'm just saying the Forsaken in general. They could just keep coming back and back. Why do they keep worrying about their numbers dwindling?
I don't know. That's a silly plot point for me. Especially since there's undead characters that have been around since vanilla, and you're talking about undead characters that have been rotting continuously this whole time. Doesn't seem to bother them, but whatever. It's all good.
All right.
But yeah, that's where we're including it. So
we'll pick
everybody go roll an Undead Death Knight so you can be dead twice. that you died,
Died again.
brought back, died again, brought back again, and
Yeah.
yeah. Enjoy dying all the times.
Maybe a lot more, especially with the fact of Chromie. Because she just has.
And then and you can go visit a spirit healer and come all back all over again. But go die. And die
repeatedly.
again. And yeah, so that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'll be uploading this as soon as I can on the TubeU. And everybody have yourself a wonderful day.